anyone who's able to consistently get a result is not working and you keep on doing it, it's not going to work. You have to change your approach. That doesn't work. Try something else. Keep changing until you get what you want. Here, I'll give you an example. How long would you give your average baby to learn how to walk? People call it God or grace. I look at my own life and I go, I worked my guts out for 47 years, 46 years, but I've also had grace. I was born at this time in history where I could get on a plane and go to other parts of the world. I could learn from the very best humans on the planet. I mean, I could go on and on about the grace of my life. I'm not here to lecture you spiritually, but I'm curious. How many of you have ever noticed the more appreciative you are for the things that have been given to you in this life, the more grace tends to flow to you? I'm curious. How many see this to be true? Say aye. It's okay to recognize your part. We've all worked our asses off. But it's also good to notice there's also the parts that's beyond you that's made this possible. And when those three things happen, just about anything you've ever dreamed of can happen. So that's the essence of it. Remember I said there were two key skills to master if you want an extraordinary life on your terms. So one is the science of achievement. Most of you are already good at this, or you wouldn't come here. Now, you might want to get better, and I can help you get better because I've obsessed for a lifetime on the best strategies and how to speed up getting the result. We'll show you many of them. But the second skill is more important than the first skill, but it is not valued by most people in Western culture. The second skill is the most important one. Good morning, dreamers. Rise and shine. Another blessed and grateful day. So glad to be on here with each of you and the fam, Shane and Talina. Mr. Nivs, it's good to see you, brother. Deanne, hope everybody is vibrating high and feeling good. We had an amazing start to today. Ready for more miracles and abundance here and on the way. So with no further ado, fam, let's go ahead and get into today's topic. Today's going to be a good one. You know, this was actually a training that we got last night. And for those of you that don't know, Nigel Stinson, okay, this is the chairman 50 inside of the organization, somebody who's really been able to, it's crazy over here, they're mowing the lawn, who's been able to achieve a lot of success, but not just the amount of success that he's been able to go out and create, the amount of testimonies and personal development he's been able to help do for others. So this is a training that actually came from Nigel last night. I want to touch on it because I feel like coming into the summertime, there's not a better topic than to really go ahead and touch on how it is that we are spending our time. So let's get into it today, fam. Let me get live on IG. Let's get this morning started. What is everybody grateful for today? Drop it down below. Let's get this chat flooded with some good energy, some good vibes, and let's go ahead and begin. Here we go. Love it. How do you spend your time? Your time. Boom. IG is here. Good morning. Good morning. A lot to be grateful for. Shout out to you, Nivs. About to go ahead and get a little vacation renewal time this weekend. You guys deserve it. Soak up the beach. I was actually just over at the beach in New Jersey for a couple of days, and it absolutely is needed, right? It's so needed to spend some time with God, Creator, nature, taking some time to go ahead and recharge and fill up the cup. So I love to see it. You both deserve it. You both have been going absolutely day in and day out. Prince, it's good to see you, brother. Yes. We've got some major moves in the works. Stay tuned. Blue Note, we've got a huge event coming on the 27th, so put it on your calendar. You do not want to miss that. And also one going in Miami at the end of the month. So stay tuned. We've got a lot going on. Love it. Here we go, fam. A lot to be grateful for. We've got our alkaline. We've got in our morning rituals. We've got a little workout in already. So let's go ahead and dive in, right? How do you spend your time? Now, it's interesting. Major moves, Prince. Absolutely. Get ready. Now, it's interesting. I want you guys to go ahead and drop down at one of the jobs that you've ever worked in your life. I want you to just go ahead and drop down the dollar amount per hour, how much it is that you were making at whatever that job was, right? Whether you guys were valeting, whether you guys were serving tables, you were cooking the kitchen like me. I was making $10 an hour, okay? I was cooking Philly cheesesteaks for my family's restaurant. For a lot of my life, literally since I was 4 years old, I was sleeping inside of the booth, learning how to wait tables, learning how to go ahead and be in the kitchen, learning how to bust, learning how to host the front of the store. So I know what it's like to trade time for money, right? But here's what's really interesting. When we talk about like, how are you going to spend your time?
we don't really think about that the time that we have is limited. So time spent doing one thing is time spent away from doing another thing. So it's so interesting. Being young, we all think that time lasts forever, right? Especially under 45, 50 years old. When you start to get to 50, I've just noticed from my father, I've noticed it from my grandparents, things start to shift a little bit. Because if you think about a football field, if we're on the first half of the 50, we're in the first half of our life. But if we're on the second half, if we're at 50 plus, now we're on the other side. Things start to get a little bit different when you're on the other side of the 50-yard line. We don't have as much time. We can't do all the things that we might have wanted to do when we were a little bit younger. It gets really deep. It gets serious. So I want you to identify and think about a football field right now and imagine 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 50 yards and put a dot where on the field that you are. And I want you to just imagine you're standing at the, for me, I'm 30 years old. So I'm standing at the 30-yard line looking at the end zone. That's how many years is left. So how are we going to spend that time? Are we going to spend it living in what ifs? Are we going to spend it living in lack? Are we going to spend it playing safe and being afraid to get risky, being afraid to do something that makes us a little bit nervous, to end up at 80 years old asking ourselves all these questions like, how did we end up here? Why didn't I commit to all the things that I wanted to do? Did YMCA receptionist $9 an hour 8 years ago, 28, and is going fast. You see, time doesn't wait on anybody. Time keeps moving and moving. And here's the couple things that I want to touch on with today. The real currency of life is not money. You know, we talk about money a lot. Yes, money's important. Yes, money's like oxygen. We need it to breathe. Yes, money determines the car that we drive, where it is that we live, where our kids are going to be going to school. But at the end of the day, the most valuable, the most important currency that there is, that exists, is our time. We all know it, right? We can all drop a $100 bill. We can go ahead and pick it back up, but we cannot drop a second of our time and go ahead and get that back. So great reminder just coming into the summertime. That's number one. Number two, every human, here's what's interesting. Every human is given the same amount of currency every single day. The currency is time, right? So the currency is 24 hours every day. And the question becomes, how are we spending that hour? How are we spending those minutes? You know, years ago, my mentor, he gave us a challenge. He said, go ahead and give yourself an hour alarm every single hour and just ask yourself this question. Is my focus on my goals, or is my focus elsewhere? Is my focus distracted on a whole bunch of things that's not going to be conducive to my growth? So that's number two. Number two is going to be every human has the same amount of time. Number three, time, like all currency, must be spent. Time, like all currency, must be spent. Now, this is so interesting when you really think about it. Actually, matter of fact, let me see if I can go ahead and share my screen so everybody can see this with me. Let me know. Here we go. Share screen window. Boom. Here we go. I want everyone to see this with me. Okay. So number three is time, like all currency, it must be spent. Think about it. Every one of us, we're going to get to an expiration time in our life. There's going to be a day where that last breath, whatever that day is, this is the last bit of our currency. So it's interesting enough how there's a lot of people. We take millions, we take billions and trillions of dollars to the grave with our ideas, with our thoughts, the things that we never committed to. But here's what's interesting about time. We don't get to take any of that money to the grave. All of it gets spent. So when you look at that, ask yourself this question. How do I want to spend my time when I'm in the prime years of my life? Because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but let me be the first to tell you. Every one of us right here, right now, we are in the prime years of our life. If you are from the ages of 20 to 50 years old, I'm telling you right now, this is the time where we're old enough to be able to learn. We're old enough to be able to know better. We're old enough to be able to get around mentorship, to be able to utilize skills, to be able to really get focused on what it is that we want. And here's the other side. 40, 45, 50, if you go and look at success, some of the greatest testimonials were created at this age. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Go study J.K. Rowling. Go study Oprah Winfrey. Go study Kentucky Fried Chicken. Go study Walt Disney. There's never a too old age to make a decision on how it is that we want to spend our time and maximize what it is that we have. And last but not least is right here. Actually, two more. Number 4 is, I've got 5. Time is used to buy life. Think about that. Let that sink in. Time is used to buy life. What do I mean by that? Watch this. Isn't it interesting how you guys have noticed that most people that are driving supercars, they don't end up actually driving the supercar until they're 60, 70 years old. Why is that? They don't get the mansion, they don't get the abundant things until they're almost too old to be able to spend it. They might have the jet, but they're too old to even be able to get out and experience the beach. So what if we didn't have to wait till that time? What if we didn't have to wait until like 97% of people that we know to their 60s to be able to experience what real wealth feels like, to be able to experience what time freedom looks like? You see, for those that use their time wisely, guess what? We're able to go ahead and buy back more life. Watch this. I'll give you an exact visualization of why it is that this is so crucial. Time is used to buy life, right? So if those that are not taking care of their body, they're not taking care of what is that they're putting inside of their mind, they're not taking care of what's happening on a daily basis, time gets shrunken. You guys know that, right? For somebody that's sleeping 2 or 3 hours a night, thinking that staying up late and waking up early, I used to be that guy. I used to be that guy to grind. But you know what I noticed? If you grind yourself too long, you're like a pencil. You're going to grind yourself into a stub. And eventually, there's nothing left. So what if we could maximize the time that we have? What if we could have more doing less and be able to open up the second half of our life? Tony Robbins always said, the first half, I want to make as much money as possible. And the second half, I want to be able to spend that time giving it away. And I feel the exact same. And the way to truly do that is to buy back the time of our life by taking care of what we have now, by eating healthy, by hitting the gym, by getting around individuals that are winning, that are excited, that are happy. And I'm telling you right now, we can literally buy back more life. Somebody that's sitting anxious, depressed, stressed out, you realize every single day that happens, they're cutting time off of their life. Cortisol literally cuts time off of life. I don't know if you guys know this or not. If you don't believe me, go look it up. Cortisol is one of the deadliest chemicals that exist. And every day spent distracted, worrying, thinking about what's not going right is time spent wasted, not time used to go ahead and buy back more time of our life. And last but not least is right here, number 5. Number 5 is you become what it is that we spend our time buying. Think about it. Anybody that we look at right now, they are nothing but a product of what is they've been buying for the past 90 days, 6 months, maybe even a couple years. Anytime you see somebody with a fit body, think about it. They've been spending their time in the gym. They've been spending their time eating a little bit healthier. The same thing goes with all of us. If we want to better each one of these 6 pillars in our life, it takes being intentional with how it is that we are going to be spending our time buying whatever it is that we're spending that time on. So fam, this is the 5 things to really just go ahead and get a little bit of a reminder to reach things to the surface, to see where it is that we're spending each day. How are we allocating each minute that we have? Because if you didn't notice, these minutes they're counting down. Every day we wake up, we are closer to our deathbed. As crazy as that sounds, that's as real as it gets. And sometimes we need that reminder to really just put things into gear. Tomorrow's not promised. So let's go out. Let's make the most of it. There's cortisol. There is. I'm telling you, it's wild. There's literally cortisol supplements. So fam, with that being said, that is my training for today on the 5 ways to really go managing our time. So if you guys got a little bit of value for today, if you're ready to go ahead and maximize what that we have, let me see some 5s down below and let's go out. Let's max it out. Ed Mylett, he has a term, max out. And the whole reason why he created that is because his father passed away from being an alcoholic, right? And he finally got to a point. He said, I don't want to be able to live getting to that age wondering what is life about? What could I have done? What could I have went out and accomplished? So if that's you and you guys are ready, drop them 5 down below. Smash that like button for nobody else but for yourself. We need to take care of ourselves first before we can go out and help other people. So I'm here for you, fam. Your leaders are here for you as well. Let's go out and max it out. Anything you need, let's make it happen. Feel free to reach out with any questions. And you already know we can be, do, and have anything. We can hold in our mind. We can hold it right here in our hand. It is Tuesday, product night. Get ready, fam. We've got some exclusive sauce coming this evening. And I will see y'all in a few hours. Game time. Let's go.